Sometimes, if you listen really hard, you can almost hear it.
Our first ever instant star is...
You're it, girl. You're the real thing.
That moment your life changes.
It's about a girl who is just about to fly off and see the world.
Forever.
Jude Harrison!
Hello and welcome to The Breakdown, an Instant Star Rewatch podcast. I am joined, as always, by my lovely co-host, Sam.
And I'm here with the beautiful Chloe.
And today, we are recapping Instant Star episode 106, Kiss Me Deadly. There was a lot of kissing in this episode.
Very much so. A lot of kissing.
Original air date, February 20th, 2005. Or if you're in the USA, you had to wait until July 29th, 2005.
Mm-hmm.
You want to kick off with your Amazon Prime synopsis?
Kiss Me Deadly. Jude's great at a lot of things, but dancing ain't one of them, which is unfortunate since that's the general theme of her first video. The one that's going to showcase her hot duet with Shay.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay.
I'm like, that's a very bad one, but okay.
That is. Well, the Wikipedia one is Jude's first video, her duet with Shay, will feature one thing that Jude isn't very good at, dancing. They then decide to change the theme of the video, and the end is supposed to feature a hot kiss between Jude and Shay. This is Jude's first real kiss, which is why she is more nervous about it, and she hasn't had a lot of good experiences with kisses. The one problem is, Shay doesn't want to be her boyfriend, raising questions about how Jude would kiss Shay on camera when he basically dumped her. I mean, really, the Wikipedia synopsises mean, like, what is the point in us recapping this?
Yes.
That's the whole episode. What were your thoughts on this episode?
I felt very much like I was watching a day in my high school. That was like my high school hallways every other day.
Well, everyone making out.
Pretty much. Who was kissing who, or who was gonna kiss who, and I was like, oh my god.
Okay, that didn't happen at my high school. Weird.
It seemed like that was a lot of mine.
I felt like a little bit uncomfortable watching all the kissing, and then I was like, am I now a prude because I'm 30?
I know, I felt really uncomfortable. I'm like, I know a lot of that went on when I was that age, but I'm slightly uncomfortable here.
Like, I felt like a parent watching.
Yes.
And I'm not a parent yet.
No, not a parent at all, but I'm like, I definitely would not be letting my younger child be watching this. I would be like, okay, you got to be about like at least in 8th grade here.
Yeah, actually, no, I'd probably let them watch it, to be honest. But I was like, ooh, there's a lot of kissing happening here. And it was all very like close-up camera angles and...
Yeah, I was like, I don't remember this episode ever making me uncomfortable, but right now it's kind of making me uncomfortable. And I was like home alone, so it was even more awkward. I was just like, okay.
Yeah, it was interesting. I also didn't have a lot of... So I had a lot of likes. Didn't have many dislikes or funnies.
No.
Or pop culture.
Funny.
It wasn't... I didn't find it particularly funny. I think it was another one of those episodes that served a purpose.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get to the what the fuck moments thing. You're gonna laugh. But do you want to start with your recap?
Sure. So it opens with Judith Shay in dance practice lessons, whatever you want to call it. Um, we then see them in a meeting where Georgia announces the dance concept is out and they have a new idea. Jude and Kat are then talking about Shay and kissing, which that I didn't so much mind because that's what me and my girlfriends did.
Yeah.
We find out Sadie is working at the food court in the mall. Poor Sadie. Yvette shows up. My distaste for this woman is growing more and more. I'm just like, every time I thought I'm done with her, I'm like, oh wait, she keeps coming back.
Yep.
Next, we're at the video shoot. At the end of the day, Jude asks Shay to dinner. At school, Jamie says he didn't kiss Kat back, and it was Hayes' sister. So, was it the last episode or the episode? I think it was the episode before. Lost my place. Okay. Then we're back at the video shoot. No, wait. Okay. We go back to the mall. Yvette gives Sadie a present, which is a necklace that she's been looking at that she wants for graduation. Jamie and Kat end up kissing again. Shay and Jude break up at dinner. Jude is still nervous about the first kiss, and her and Tommy have this really great scene where he basically tells her that when you have your first kiss, it really does matter. It's only going to matter to you and in your heart. We also find out that Darius, shocker, is behind Shay breaking up with Jude. She, in the video, when she's supposed to go kiss Shay, she soaks him with a water hose because he's a little chicken shit and listens to everything Darius says. Obviously, my distaste for Shay has changed.
Mine has stayed the same, which is
Yes. She ends up kind of storming off to the back room. Shay follows. She lets him know she wanted her first kiss to be with him. They kiss and apparently get back together. Yvette and Sadie are talking at the mall, and Yvette says Sadie must get something from her mom, and it kind of clicks with Sadie that she's talking to the other woman, and she tells Yvette that I need to hate you because of what you are and what you're doing with my dad, and I love that. And then we go back to Sadie gets up and leaves the table, but she leaves the necklace with Yvette, and it ends with showing the video for Waste My Time.
Yeah. Awesome. I had pretty much the same thing. Yeah, let's dive into the episode. I feel like we'll change it up a little bit. Instead of both doing a recap, maybe we'll take it in turns each episode to do the recap.
Okay.
Because otherwise we're just we've watched the same episode.
Yes.
Yeah, let's dive into it. I found it very interesting that, in particular, Sadie, she was really enjoying Yvette, asking about her life and getting to know her initially.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, someone's paying me attention.
Yes.
And then she realized that this wasn't the person that should be paying her any attention, so she
Mhm.
ended the conversation. What were your thoughts on that?
You know, it's. I felt happy that someone was paying Sadie attention. I wasn't happy about who it was. But it was nice to see kind of Sadie getting that attention, getting that like one-on-one time that we don't see her getting. You know, my parents have never been like in that situation, but I am a child from a broken home. My mom has been remarried, and it did take me a while to come to terms with my stepdad. And so I remember in the beginning, it was, you know, he would give me that attention and I would like it. But then I was like, oh, wait.
Mm.
So, which I mean, that's not to say how we ended before he passed away. We were great. I mean, he's a man who raised me in every sense of the word. And, you know, there's not a day that I don't miss him, but it's never really easy when you're a child of divorce or when you come from a broken home. And I know, at least for me, I'm very guarded.
Mm.
And so I know how easy it is to slip in and out of that.
Yeah, and especially when you're someone like Sadie who hasn't been paid much attention. You know,
Right.
her younger sister's famous. She's like, Jude's basically not living in the real world at this point. It's funny, when I write my recap notes, I define what the real world is doing by saying, in the real world, like Kat and Jamie are doing this or Sadie's doing this. And
Yeah.
in my brain, when I'm watching it, Jude is no longer living in the real world. She's
No.
making out with famous hip hop stars and
Yeah.
falling for her producer who used to be in a boy band. And
Yeah.
like, she's really not living in the real world anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I can understand Sadie wanting someone to pay her attention and looking for it in like the wrong places.
Right.
Let's talk about Shay. Yeah, let's talk about Shay in this episode. Let's go to Shay.
Okay, so we always say Tommy is bad with hot and cold. Can we, like, Shay takes the freaking crown with hot and cold.
Well, Tommy is playing hot and cold because he's not allowed to play hot.
Yes, this is true. Tommy has a reason to play hot and cold. Shay is just.
It's
I'm
so
wondering why
interesting.
I liked him a couple of weeks ago.
I was so very surprised that you did like him. It's so interesting watching it, like as old as we are now, because
Yes.
back then I used to find Shay charming because those were
Yes.
exactly the kind of guys I was falling for.
Yes, and now I'm just like, red flag, red flag, red flag. So many red flags.
Yeah, but also he's just like, he doesn't have his own brain in this episode.
No, not at all.
He's like amalgamated his two lives, like his life as a superstar and his life as Shay, and they're so interlinked. He can't not listen to Darius when Darius tells him to do anything.
Well, I mean, it's even like at the dinner, it's like he was signing that autograph for the waitress when he was on a date with his supposed girlfriend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, I mean, I get it, you know, like being nice to the fans and stuff, but it's like also, dude, you're on a date.
Yeah. And just, I mean, how old is Shay meant to be?
I think they said 17 in a prior episode.
Okay, so if someone came up to you at 17 and said, "Hey, I think you should break up with your boyfriend," I mean, I'd have been like, "Screw you."
Yeah, I'm like, well, I'm glad you know what you think, but okay.
Yeah, my teenage rebellion would have kicked in. I've been like, "No, I'm not doing
Yeah.
that." So then that begs the question, because watching it as a 30-year-old, I'm now wondering every time I watch Shay, maybe he's just isn't that into Jude, and he's just, when I
Fine.
watched it years ago, I was like, oh yeah, he's into Jude, he just can't articulate his feelings. And now I'm like, no,
Yeah,
he's definitely not into Jude. He's just
right.
he's just wanting to be with her and just act like a douchebag.
Yeah, it's just like another notch on the belt.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I become much more judgmental as a 30-year-old.
I have to.
And then Darius. Like, Darius is. I have like a love hate relationship with him in this episode.
I do too.
He like saves the video shoot, but then is getting in Shay's head, and oh, I don't know.
Ugh. But the thing with Darius is I always have a love hate relationship with him.
Normally, it's a hate relationship for me.
Yeah. Because, I mean, he does stuff in later seasons where I'm like, I just want to smack you.
Actually, I like him more as the seasons progress.
Yes.
But
Like, I actually love him in season 4, but, like, season 3, I can't stand him.
I don't remember season 3. But also, we're trying to watch it like we haven't seen those seasons.
Yeah.
So at the moment, I'm just like, yeah, I don't like you very much. What were your thoughts on... we'll get into Tommy later. What were your thoughts on the real world storyline of Kat and Jamie? Because they're always just bringing us back down to earth.
I'm still not, like, necessarily a fan of Jamie. It's a little easier this time around because I can go and say, oh, I don't completely hate him. But I like that they're reminded of, like you said, like them and Sadie and of like that real world aspect. And so it was nice to see of, oh, this is what's going on in the school. This is what's going on in like the teenage lives. Because
This is
even
what
with,
like normal teenagers get up to.
yeah, because even with like Sadie, we like really don't see her in school. We don't see her around friends. Like Sadie is kind of a connection to the home life where Jamie and Kat kind of keep us with school and with friends and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like it's kind of true, um, like how Kat and Jamie are coming together. That can happen when like a core friendship group, like they're all still friends, but Jude's obviously off doing her own thing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of natural that they'd be getting closer together because
Well, she's not around as much.
exactly, and that will come up in a few episodes, but we don't know that yet.
Yes.
What did you have for the episode theme? Because I'll tell you mine first, because I always feel like I'm terrible at these. So I'm like, I can never think of a theme, and then you come in, and you're like, oh, this is the theme. So for me, the episode theme was, I felt like the whole episode was about communication and feelings, like how to communicate how you feel and what that means about how you feel, and then also how that translates to whether or not you want to kiss someone. It's like the whole
Yeah.
thing was about how Shay
Can't
like,
communicate.
yeah, Shay has to be told how to communicate through somebody else. Jude can't communicate because she's too embarrassed about never having kissed someone. Tommy is like just the communicator, which is a very weird role for him to be in. And Kat and Jamie are basically trying to tell each other the same thing, but doing it in weird teenage fashions.
I just honestly for this one I had teenage emotions.
Yeah, you put it in a nice little bow. It's I feel like it was such a teenage episode. Like when you
Yeah.
just have the crazy hormones and emotions and
Yes.
you're watching it and you're like, why can't you just like sit each other down and have a grown-up conversation? And then I'm like, yeah, it's because they're not grown-ups.
And it's so funny because I keep on like, especially in this episode, I was like, the fact that most of these people are like in their 20s and they're acting like they're like 15. I'm like, wait, that's the actors, not the characters.
I think Alex was actually pretty young. I can't remember how young she said she was.
Yeah, she was like 18 or something.
Yeah. But then I'm not sure how old. I know that Kat is a bit older.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot older. I don't know how old everyone else was.
I was just like, oh, to be an actor.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of a compliment to be an actor and be told that you can convincingly play a school kid.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into our likes and dislikes. Did you have any likes?
I did.
I had a few.
One with a big like circle around it and a star is Tommy.
Uh,
I was like, I love Tommy in this episode. Jude's
yes.
wardrobes. These Darius's one-liners.
Yeah.
I like the video, and then I also like Sadie's needing to hate Yvette.
Yeah. I really liked the scene where Kat and Jude are hanging out, discussing just kisses. It was such a simple, sweet scene. But like you said earlier, that's exactly what we did when we were teenage girls.
Yes.
And it was nice to see Jude hanging out in the real world for a little bit, despite the fact that she was talking about her hip hop boyfriend.
Yes.
I really loved Jude's first music video look with the crimped hair. And then I think she had the crimped hair again. But yeah, I love the crimped hair on her. Tommy's reaction to Shay grabbing Jude's ass. Like, oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah.
So good. And Jude saying, last time I checked, it's my body.
Yes.
Like, that's quite a progressive line to say, actually. Loved it. And then I also really loved Christopher Turner's performance in this whole episode.
Yeah.
Like, Jamie might not be my favorite character, but Chris Turner is so good at playing like the goofy lattes, possibly too many, and walking into the girls' bathroom. I loved it.
Yes. It's funny, as much as I don't like Jamie, I love Christopher Turner.
And also, as much as we don't like Shay, Matthew Brown, like, love him. He's great.
Yes.
He plays a character we love to hate.
Yes. That means they're good.
Yes. If you can do that convincingly, that's good.
Yes.
I only had one dislike. Well, it's technically two, but it comes as a pair, so I'm going to call it one. What were your dislikes?
Mine was Shay's hot and cold. Sadie's food court job, Yvette's presence, and Shay's grabbing Jude's ass.
My dislikes were just Darius / Shay. Like, just the two characters in general.
Yeah.
I debated putting Darius on the dislike list because he did save the music video.
Yeah, that's one of those ones where you're like,
Yeah.
But it works because he's very much an ass in season 1. But and he stays an ass, but he at least becomes a likable ass.
Yeah, absolutely. But also, like, what what checks didn't clear for G Major? Like, was it their electric bill or something? I'm not sure.
And yeah, which is funny that you said that.
Is that on your what the fuck moment? Okay, well, let's get into our funnies. I had 2 funnies. What about you?
I only had one, and it was actually the G major thing.
Yeah, like, unless you don't pay your electric bill, surely the power isn't going to go off.
Right.
So maybe they didn't pay their electric bill.
Well, and something I'm like, I mean, it's no secret that G major is struggling, but like, how bad do you have to be struggling where you can have a singing competition, but your checks don't clear? Unless that's why they had Instant Star to try to bring in some more money.
Yeah, and we haven't really seen any other artists except for Shay, who comes in kind of on like a contract basis.
Right.
So maybe they just have Jude, which would make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Well, I had 2 funnies. The flashback scene to Jude and Jamie kissing. I love how like the 2 different versions portrayed whoever's memory we were flashing back to. I just thought that was
Yes.
very clever. And then the other funny relates to that. It was actually in the YouTube comments, so whoever said this, thank you. Did you notice Jamie's braces were falling off in the flashback scene? Like, who approved that as a take? If you look at his smile, they're just like falling off.
Yes.
So obvious when you notice it.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty funny. Okay, I'll let you start with your what the fuck moments because you're just gonna laugh at mine.
So mine, I only have one, but it kind of groups a bunch of people together. Why are Tommy, Darius, Georgia, and EJ all at the video shoot? I'm
Fair
like,
point.
those people don't go to a video shoot.
Yep. Well, that kind of relates to all of mine. So I'll start at the beginning. Why is Tommy in the meeting room to discuss Jude's music video?
Yes.
Why is Tommy at the video shoot? Why is Tommy so mad at Darius for intervening with the music video? Why is Tommy the one asking Jude if she's ready for the big kiss? Really has nothing to do with him.
No.
Why is Tommy the one who comes to tell Jude and Shay to come back on set? My last point, basically, why is Tommy in this episode at all?
Why is Tommy in this episode?
He literally serves no purpose in this episode.
No.
But that comes with a caveat of I love their scene together where she says to him that she hasn't had a real kiss.
I do too.
So that is why he's in the episode. But I was just watching it like, why is he in this episode?
Yes. I think it's one of those ones where the producers and the writers and all them were just like, we know people are going to ship drama. We just got to give them something.
And also, I think it's kind of, it sets you up for like their future relationship. And I don't just mean their romantic relationship. I mean like
Right.
their friendship as well. That he is always the person she goes to for basically anything. Because technically you could say, why is Jude telling her producer, who she has a crush on, that she's never had a real kiss, when he knows that she kissed him in episode 1?
Right.
But if you look at the bigger picture, he's in this episode at all to give Jude like the good advice and to yeah, I don't know. I thought it was such a sweet scene between them.
I love that scene.
Yeah, that was my what the fuck. Like, why is Tommy in this episode?
Yes.
Okay, let's get into our heroes and villains. Who was your hero?
Tommy.
Same. After saying all of that, he is actually my hero of the episode.
Yes. Very much so my hero in this episode.
Okay, well, who was your villain?
Shay.
I had Darius / Shay.
I was gonna put Darius, and then I was like, but he saved the video, and then Shay, and then Darius, and so I mean it was both of them.
Yeah, I had Darius / Shay. Shay letting Darius call the shots, and Darius calling the shots.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Shay shouldn't have let him, but Darius also shouldn't have done it in the first place.
Right.
Okay, let's get into the song review for Waste My Time. My score has not increased from last episode. It is still a 6 out of 10 because it's a good song, but it's not as good as other season 1 songs.
Yeah. Mine, I don't remember I gave it last time, but this time hearing more of it, I definitely give it a 6.
Okay, so we're in agreement.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I like Shay's part in it, but I just know what good songs are coming up.
Yeah.
So
I'm holding out because I'm like, the good ones are
I know.
coming.
Okay, let's get into pop culture. I had 2 pop culture moments. I was like, surely there's more, but I couldn't find any. So the first one is obviously the episode title. Kiss Me Deadly is a lyric from a song called Kiss Me Deadly, a 1988 song by Lita Ford. I did not know that. And then my only other pop culture is, and that's why the New York Dolls can be considered both punk and glam. The New York Dolls were an American rock band formed in New York City in 1971. That is it for pop culture.
Yeah.
I was like,
That's
surely there's more.
like all I had to do, so.
But I think it was last episode or maybe the episode before, there was so much.
Yeah.
Okay, what was your favorite quote?
So I really went back and forth between favorite quote and hashtag iconic, and then I finally, like maybe 15 minutes before we got on here, decided which ones to went where. So for favorite quote, I put, guess that means I'm too busted to pay my bills.
Okay, my favorite quote was, a real kiss isn't in the lips, it's in the heart. What was your hashtag iconic?
Guess a real kiss isn't on the lips, it's in the heart.
Mine was Jude's spraying Shay with the water. I was just like, yes.
Yes.
Okay, let's spin the wheel for most likely to. Most likely to be afraid to share their opinions in a conversation. I'm going to go with Jamie. Well, maybe not.
No, I can see Jamie.
Like, he tends to just go along with whatever.
Yeah. I'm going to say Shay.
Oh, yeah, actually, that fits very well with this episode. He didn't want to share his opinions.
Yeah.
Yes, I like that. Let's go with Shay. That basically, it's creepy how sometimes it chooses one that just sums up the episode. That's weird.
Yes.
Well, that was our episode recap of 106. So next week, we are recapping episode 107. I wanna be your boyfriend. Wonder what that one's about. Thank you as always for listening, and make sure to tune in next week. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to The Breakdown, an Instant Star Rewatch podcast. The Breakdown was produced by me, Chloe, and Neon Network Production. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and listen to all episodes of The Breakdown on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. See you next time.